This is 2 Minutes About Time with Luke Allen and Robert E.G. Black, the podcast that takes a look at the film About Time 2 minutes at a time. I am Richard Curtis, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, well, you can just travel back in time 2 minutes and listen to something else.
I'm one of your hosts, Luke Allen. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Robert E.G. Black.
Hello.
And with a whole blend of guests from the history of this show. I am joined with, in alphabetical order, Helen Austin.
Hello. As I said, my name's Helen Austin. I worked with Luke on Unstable. I'm an actress, and I'm happy to be here.
Curtis Blaze.
Hey everybody, I'm Curtis Blaze. I do a podcast called The What I Wish I Didn't Know Show, and I'm a photographer, and I'm just thrilled to come back to do another episode of this show with you, Luke and Robert.
Johan Joseph.
Hello everyone. I did work on the Independence Day Minute, the Starship Troopers Minute, and I was previously on this podcast with the infamous Oral Sex Minute.
Oh, yeah. Brian Lockhart.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Brian with the Marine Corps Movie Minute podcast, where we're doing Heartbreak Ridge right now with Clint Eastwood. And just like everybody else, I'm happy to be back.
And Brian, we did try to get Graham Curry on for this episode, but he unfortunately says he does quizzes on Wednesdays. But he wished us luck with the show. Had a nice chat with him. None of you will know who Graham Curry is, but you're in for an interesting episode when we get to the one that's dedicated to Graham Curry. I mean, Robert, do we say, or do we just leave it like that?
No, that's good.
Okay, and Resword.
Hi, I'm Resword. Welcome to my TED Talk. Yeah, I'm a student filmmaker, media maker, and yeah, that's me.
And Katie Proctor.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm an actress and also a poet, and like the others, I'm just really happy to be back.
So, the idea for this episode, however well it will end up working out, I don't know. I'm terrified, to be honest, but this could be fun. I don't think this has been done in Movie by Minute history. Have any of you Movie by Minute people done this before, or is this a fresh idea?
This one's pretty new for me.
I've been on lots of shows where people didn't know what they were going to talk about beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a thing.
So, I will randomise a number using just the Google number randomizer between 1 and 119. It could be any minute from the film. Some of the guests who've been on may have discussed this minute before. They may not have discussed this minute. And it's just time to find out what it is. Right, so the number for now is number 69. And I will send minute 69 into the chat, and then we will close off this call for I'll give 2-3 minutes, and then pop back in to talk about it with no prep whatsoever. Now, here's to hoping that 69 is actually saved on my computer.
I just put a link to it in the chat.
Ah, that works too.
Excited about our wedding is that I'm coming down the aisle to the sound of some Italian weirdo singing a song called Il Mondo.
Excellent song.
To which I've said a definitive no. So here's the deal. I will take off one item of clothing for every decision you make.
Okay. You have my attention, young lady.
Right. Where would you like to get married?
Home. I'd hate anywhere else.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Good. Who should the priest be?
It'll have to be the local bloke with yellow teeth and a massive unibrow.
Okay. That's a lock for Hagrid. Best man. Best man.
Oh no, this is so hard. It's lose-lose, you know. You piss off all the ones you don't pick, and then you end up hating the one you do pick because he makes a bad speech and ruins the day.
Do you want to see these puppies or not?
Yes, I do. Jay.
Okay, I've found the page in the script as well. Okay, so I guess the good thing would be to start with Helen, because you haven't seen the film yet. So...
Damn it, Luke!
Still.
Got dropped in that.
But I mean, if you end up joining us for the commentary, which will be Friday's episode, but next week we're recording, then you will have seen the film at some point in that way.
Yes.
But But yeah, so from this, no context whatsoever, I feel like from the minutes we've given you, Helen, you think this film seems a lot more sex-based than it actually is.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were going to end up seeing those puppies or not.
But yeah, so what were your overall thoughts and opinions and brief analysis of this?
I thought it made the film look quite funny from that scene. Yeah, you're right, it definitely seems more sexual than, I'm guessing, most of the other minutes. All of the different scenes you've seen me.
Your episode involves Tim nearly sleeping with Charlotte, so you're really not getting the best view of this film.
Yeah. Yeah. I think every scene he's been in that I've seen, he's been with a different woman. Which, from what I've heard, is not the way the film goes at all. Yeah. I thought it seemed quite funny. Does he ever pick a best man? I don't know.
So I mean, Robert, do you think we try and go round alphabetically again, or what, or do we just all talk?
I don't think we need to force everyone to talk about everything.
No. So I mean, we've both talked about this. I remember when it came up. I can at some point give what it says in the script. I don't know. Should we try that now and then have the conversations from here?
Yeah, you look at your.
Yeah,
script. We'll talk around you.
let's do a thing where we hear a summary, and maybe you go through the script, and then we're able to give our thoughts more in depth.
Yes, of course. The listeners don't. I need to edit this around. The listeners don't know what minute 69 was. I didn't say. So minute 69.
No, the listeners have to guess.
They have to go back and listen to the episode where we discussed minute 69 first. So minute 69 involves Mary undressing for Tim to help him make the decision as to who the best man is. So from the original script, Mary says, everything. The only thing that you've decided about the wedding is that I'll come down the aisle to the sound of an Italian weirdo singing a song called Il Mondo. Tim says, excellent. To which I've said a definitive no. So here's the deal. I'll take off one item of clothing for every decision you make. This is a one-off offer, striptease in your own living room by a woman you think, by your own admission, is pretty. Obviously the lines are slightly different in the script, and that's what we'll realise here. And Tim says, okay, you have my full attention, young lady. Mary says, right, good. Where do you think we should get married? Home. I'd hate anywhere else. She takes off her t-shirt and is wearing a bra underneath. Mary says, good. Who should the priest be? Tim says, the local bloke with the yellow teeth and the massive unibrow. She says, okay, that's a lock for Hagrid. And she takes off her baggy sweatpants. She has no socks. She's just standing there in bra and pants. Mary says, right, I should have thought this through first. Tim says, yes. Mary, I should have worn more clothes. Yes. So I'd better pick two really important questions. Best man. Tim says, damn, I really wanted to see those breasts, but... Best man, now. This is so hard, it's loss. You piss off all the ones you don't pick, and you end up hating the one you do pick because he makes a bad speech and ruins the day. She says, do you want to see these puppies or not? And actually, in the original script, Tim says, Harry? which is Jay in the original one. And actually, what we... No, never mind, it is... So I'll carry on to the end of this page. Mary says, the breasts are the border from which no decision can ever return. Harry, really? And she reaches on her back for her bra strap. Tim says, no, bad idea, he'll get drunk. Jay? Your choice? He's my best friend, but he's a moron. He will F up everything, yes. Censored it a little bit there. Tim says, Rory, he's boring, but he'll try so hard. Sure? Yes, definitely, Rory. No, Harry. It's Harry. And that is where that ends in the script. Went a little over. What does everyone think of this minute, and any analysis as to anything really?
Analyzing movies 1 minute at a time has made me pay attention to movies more closely than I ever have in my life. And I noticed that before she suggested that she was going to take off all of her clothes or one piece of clothing per answer, she was already preparing the room by closing the windows, which I thought was a nice touch.
Well, I like that she thought that part through, but not thought it through enough to wear extra clothing in the like mentioned in the script. Which actually, I understand why they cut some of that dialogue for the actual movie, but that would have been a neat little, like back and forth with them.
It's possibly a little too clunky for the scene, because what we noticed, especially doing it minute by minute, is most scenes in About Time seem to actually take place over a minute or two. It's perfect for this show because it's so fast paced that little exchanges like that need to be so significant. And whilst that is significant, I believe from the script, when he goes to the wedding and you've got the one best man, you actually see him go back in time and re-ask Mary each time. So that would have felt a bit repetitive. Whereas in the actual film, when he's at the wedding, and he changes who the best man is, you just hear the noise of the time travel, and bam, it's the next best man. So I think it works. It works really well there. But
Wait.
yeah, it's.
So he goes back in time every time just to see her undress? It's actually not too horrible. Like, he just shoots the answers out because he knows he'll get her undressed.
Every time it's faster.
Yeah.
He's just like, home, local bloke.
Yeah.
What's the fourth question?
Is this the first time that she undresses for him ever? No, that can't be right?
No, they have sex
Okay.
The first night she meets him.
The first time they meet the third time.
Yeah, the first time they meet the third time. Yeah, it's quite a...
or the third time they meet the first time, I guess.
Yes, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm just wondering all the more ways we can confuse Helen. It's really interesting. But I think it will be really helpful, even if you... I mean, hopefully you manage to see the film before the commentary, if you are able to join us for the commentary. If not, then the commentary would be a very interesting way to first discover the film. But I'd feel bad about taking away that first viewing from people, because, as you probably all know, it's quite a film to watch properly. I hope.
I would be super interested to know what you think is going on here, Helen.
I think we had this, so when I first did my episodes, I was sat with Luke and Robert. Well, I watched them beforehand, and what I thought was happening was not at all what was happening in the film. I could tell that maybe it was time travel, but I didn't know it was time travel. I just thought he was like thinking through. He was in a theatre, and it kept going back in time, and he kept changing his answers to things.
Which works with Robert's theory that maybe there isn't actually any time travel in the film, and it's all just a story technique to help him process things.
It kind of came across like he was thinking through what he wanted to say, and then kept thinking of how the other person would respond, and went, no, that's not a good thing to say, and then changed his mind, and then changed his mind again. And then you were like, by the way, it's about time travel. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
You see a whole different side to it.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been like the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies, where they would show it all play out, and then you go back and see what really happened. So.
I was thinking maybe Robert's idea was that this was instead of a time travel movie, it was like Next. Who is that? The film where what's that crazy guy? Nicolas Cage can go forward in time like 2 minutes to see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I forgot.
Because the stuff he does, the power he has in that movie is a lot like what she's describing from the theater scene.
Oh, well, I think we just got a fan theory going here where Nick Cage and now I'm blanking on names, but basically they're related. Nick Cage is like a cousin.
That would really explain the portrait.
Yeah.
There's a painting which the set decorator has told us isn't Nick Cage. There's a painting that looks an awful lot like Nick Cage in the family home.
I'm telling you, there you go. That's proof right there.
So Nicolas Cage was
I need
in
to
the
watch
Lake
this
family.
movie because I did actually have a theory earlier about because the episodes that came out today at the time of listening, obviously this was months ago, but the episode that came out today as of recording is the one for the proposal scene, and we talked in that about how Tim had to wait until Mary was awake, and for someone who can flash forwards and backwards in time so often, for him to actually just have to wait because he's in the present wouldn't work. And so I suddenly thought, what if Tim just always lived in yesterday? Like, he always just lived one day behind, so if he needs to go ahead, it's in his past still. Could that work?
Your wording is so confusing, but I think I know what you mean.
I actually don't think that would be possible because the dad wouldn't be able to know when the last day he was going to spend with him would be. Sorry, Helen.
I can't come onto a show called 2 Minutes About Time and not hear spoilers. That's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, Eddie, who we had on, it's weird talking about this in past tense when the episodes haven't come out. Eddie, who we had on, only watched the film the day before he went on and listened to all like half of the released episodes of the show first, so he knew the content of the film and still enjoyed it. And actually, he's still listening to the show, which is great.
Okay, he's showing me up. Okay.
We just have to have that perfect balance of one that's.
I'm not even sure if there. I'm not even sure if there were episodes of the show out when we recorded with you, Helen. Like it's. I'm not sure.
There was like 1 or 2 that were out, and I got like a small glimpse into what was happening.
We don't really know what we're doing in the early episodes. We don't even know what we're doing now. I think we've realised that.
No, we got nothing.
I remember filming the first episodes. It was chaos.
Yeah, Katie's been here for the evolution. She was there.
Yeah.
Right
I was
in
the first guest.
Yeah, your confidence has like changed massively. Like just the tone of it all. So I started listening to it a couple of weeks ago, and from the first episode to like the most recent, Luke, I don't know how to explain it really. You've been
blossom.
able to blossom.
I feel like Robert already knew what he was doing because you've done this how many times? But
too many.
You were put underneath Robert's wing. Your mentor.
Yeah, Robert guided me through the world of Movie by Minutes, and now finally I can spread my wings and host my Les Mis podcast.
Yes.
I'm so in for that.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to, we'll book you all in for whenever on earth we record that. But that will happen at some point. Also, in the lines of Richard Curtis is I'm just plugging my shows now. Is Love Actually over Christmas? We're going to break up Love Actually into the days in December in which it takes place and release an episode on that. But hopefully,
I've seen all of these ones.
So, have we got any other comments? Are we ready to randomize?
Well, I would kind of like to. I'd like to know what other questions. Like how it would take 2 more questions to get her all the way
no,
down.
Just one more.
Is that accurate?
Because she doesn't have socks on.
Oh, just one more question. How insignificant of a decision could he have made and still had that count? It doesn't seem like she had any rules.
The last question is what flavor cake. Something simple.
That's a very important decision.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably the most important. Yeah.
Yeah, because
to get the best man.
I feel like the congregation remember the cake more than they remember who the best man was.
Yeah. Well, because I'm not sure if anybody else has had to plan a wedding, but this third question of who should be the best man, even if there's boobs on the line, is very critical and very hard to think of. And I could totally understand his point of view where he just gets stumped. Like you can't just spit out a name and be like, yeah, that's a good enough name. And it's like, no, wait.
If you could spit one out that easily, you'd already know. Because you'd have that friend that's obviously the best man.
Yeah.
Or if you have the power of time travel, you just go back.
Which I didn't have that power, but hence divorce. But the thing is, though, what he said is right. That the person I chose at the time gave a horrible speech. And
I mean, we see Jay's speech later on, and it is a horrible speech.
Yes.
But, I mean, have we got any other comments before we randomise to our next minute? And if it ends up being the sex scene, then Helen's a bad luck charm.
Well, I was going to say, the fact that there was a striptease on minute 69.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Relatively
someone had to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may... Yeah, what if they were cutting down words in the script just to get this to happen? Like,
That's why they cut it out.
I feel
right?
like
The editor is like, I gotta put that in this minute.
yeah.
To keep this on the family-friendly tone, we won't explain why that's funny. They either know or they don't.
Well, they knew somebody was going to break it down minute by minute, so they did it for that purpose.
So, kids listening, here's what this means.
There was a minute-long conversation of how they explain like everything that would help, and they're like, "No, we gotta get rid of that. This part got landed in '69."
Well, I was going to make one comment about the whole striptease time travel thing. So this scene reminds me of Billy Madison when his girlfriend was was trying to teach Adam Sandler, and for every question he got right, she would remove a bit of clothing. Mm-hmm. The gag in that is they cut back later when he's really acing it, and it's Chris Farley, and he's like, "That is correct," and he starts taking his shirt off. I would have liked to seen Tim go back like we suggested over and over again to keep seeing this with the better answers, but he screwed something up, and there's Chris Farley instead of his wife.
Or it's his uncle.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Uncle Desmond taking off his suit.
Go back.
I feel like if Uncle Desmond took off his tie, it would feel too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's got the layers for this kind of thing.
Yeah, I liked Uncle D. He's awesome.
Okay, so we'll randomly select the next minute. Robert, I was thinking since we sometimes have a bonus minute, we could probably do 3 of these, right?
Sure.
Or however long, if it's fun. I don't know. we can keep going forever. We'll see.
We don't want too long an episode.
Yeah.
36. I'm now scared because that could be the sex scene. 36.
No,
Robert.
36 is the museum.
Oh, okay. Oh, so just the topless picture of Kate Moss instead.
Yes. Yes.
First R-rated.
You're not making your case
quite
very
an
well.
image to this film, I'll tell you that.
Weirdly, I was reading on the website Common Sense Media, which is like age ratings for kids or whatever. They recommended that you're 16 before you watch this film. That's just no, like it's not that bad.
It really isn't.
I mean, I think I probably watched it when I was I watched it when I would have been 14. I showed it to my sister when she was like 11. It's fine. Anyway, we'll drop out and watch this minute and come back in shortly.